Hey everyone, Metagross Freak here, and I've got a considerable amount of neck beard, but after looking at 6 different stores, I finally got my hands on Onua, not the Toa, the Master of Earth. Now the reason I'm showing you the backside first is because technically this is the normal version. He's got these two uh, backhoe-like scoops that he uses, and when he puts on the golden mask, he gets this giant hammer. I don't know why they decided to package it like this, but I thought it was really interesting. And before I wanted to get into to the figure, I wanted to show you that technically both are correct. But it's just very odd they marketed his adrenaline mode or his super mode on the front and his normal mode on the back. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the skeleton. It's worth mentioning that the Onua box at time of release was $20, and based on the parts alone, you're getting your money's worth. In fact, they couldn't even put the instruction booklet in correctly. They had to partially fold it because there's so much in the box. In addition to your standard Hero Factory torso, there's a bag of parts, a bag of little parts, and a bag of just armor. This is literally just armor, I think. And oh yeah, there's a little sticker sheet for the massive chest plate. Ono is the only one who doesn't have a printed chest plate because he has a massive one that connects by these the two clips on the sides. So another use for the Hero Factory shoulders, it'll basically attach via these joints on the ends. I don't know how well you can see that because of the similarity of the light. But finally, we're going to have another use for these elbow joints. I don't know if I'm going to be putting these stickers on, however, considering all the other 5 half-printed chest plates, I think I'm basically going to have to put the chest plate sticker on. I'll find out after the entire thing is done what I am going to end up doing. If Anno, a Master of Earth, looks short in this figure, it's mostly because of the camera angle and also the proportion of his shoulders. Compared to all of the other Toa, Onua has close to I would say, the broadest by far shoulders. He also has a very odd assemblage here on the chest, and that is used for his shoulder armor. Um, you also might notice that by comparison, his arms and legs are proportionately shorter than the other $20 sets. This leads Onua, with his neck fully extended upright, to be a little bit shorter than Liwa, with his neck tilted downwards like we would expect with Onua or Onua-like figures. He's closer to Pohatu's height. I still haven't gotten Gali yet, but I'm assuming that Gali would also be around the same height as Pohatu. That being said, let's armor Onua up. I'm actually really glad I decided to show the unarmored version like I did with all the others, because it gives you a chance to look at all the kind of weird assembly you have to do. In fact, I'm going to give a close-up of his shoulders. You'll notice that his shoulders aren't just simply aren't simply extensions of the gearbox. They're like easily a good 10 pieces on each shoulder. It's kind of I feel it's a lot more than is necessary, especially because the friction, without this ball here, there is very little friction. But with that ball, moving his gear is very stiff, and I might actually end up removing that because I don't like how stiff the movement is. He's able to hold a pose, and considering how large his weapon is and how top heavy his weapon is, I'm glad he has it, but it's too much friction in my opinion. Also worth noting is, unlike the remakes, actually the just recoloring of the Hero Factory feet, Onua has like mole feet. I feel this is just a recolor from a Chima set, which I guess is also kind of to be said about the torso armor. I'm assuming it's some kind of a armor from either Chima or from the Avengers/Marvel line. To get started on the armor, however, Onua has these 2 purple armor pieces with a gold I guess you could call him a bracer on the front of each leg, the front of each calf. This adds on to his bulky look. He also has a fair amount of reinforcement on his armor. However, he does have two, just kind of, I guess you could say, the like side saddle armor pieces, kind of like Liwa does. I'm actually kind of bummed that he doesn't have the reinforcers up here like Tahu, because I kind of like that look. If I don't like the look of Onua when I'm done with him, I might end up doing that for myself. Onua has a surprising amount of armor in the chest area. On his back, he has just a regular black plate, filling in that gap. And on the front, he has a silver. I call them a guard piece, or like a thigh piece, with these little peg holes pointing down, giving him kind of a really bizarre crotch plate. But I guess it's better than no armor. Before I move on to the shoulders and the chest, I'm going to finish up the rest of the limbs, giving some major bulk to his arms are two black plates with gold bracers on them, giving him some nice, big, beefy arms, and two smaller purple plates. And this is pretty much it for the gold and purple on Onua. He has 4 purple plates, 4 gold bracers, and so I think it's really weird that they kind of just splashed those 2 colors in. I really would have preferred to either have more purple on him or more gold. So the fact that they even have like this silver here, and a silver weapon and these silver pieces means that he's got 4 main colors in him. He has black, gold, purple, and silver, and so it's kind of a very contrasting color scheme, and I feel that maybe the team designing him was a little too big. As extra parts go, however, I had just the right amount. I had 3 extra parts, a miniature plug, a larger plug, and a stopper. Speaking of plugs, all of Onua's shovel pieces have dual plugs. Nowhere in the instructions does it explain why he has these plugs. However, I would assume it has to do something regarding like a Kayata or a combo model. Onua's big chest piece fits over the strange assemblage. I'm gonna call them breast protrusions for now, since I don't feel any weirdness by saying breast on my channel. But as you can see, it covers it up very nicely. I have decided to not put the stickers on for now. However, he looks very gorilla-like without his mask on right now, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, I decided to not put the sticker on for now. I wanted to see how it looks fully loaded before I make that decision, because I feel once I put the sticker on, it'll be either difficult to take it off, or once I take it off, I won't be able to put it back on. You get 2 of these shovel claw things, and you place them in these sockets here. There's a ball joint here, so you're going to have to fiddle with it a little bit. There's not a lot of fiddle room, however. But just on that ball joint, rotate around. You actually have 2 ball joints, one for the assemblage and one for where the I guess you could call it the hand piece that the armor clicks into. I'm trying to get it to look fairly symmetrical, and I'm happy with how this looks. So he's got very nice pauldrons. They're very large. I just kind of wish they were more uniform with the color scheme, and that's just a nitpick of mine. Before I put the mask on, here we have, I guess you could call it a hammer. It's made by interlacing 2 of these shovel pieces. You can see like the teeth, and if you pull them off, they stay together pretty well. I don't know why, but you have like this cone. It's hollow on the it's hollow, so I don't know what the point of that is. It looks very weird. And on the back we have, actually, it's not supposed to pose, but we have another Chima Hero Factory Marvel foot that just attaches to the back, I guess, to give some weight to the hammer. It's very interesting, and it comes with this plug here. It can be attached on the back, and you're supposed to attach it, I guess, like that. When not in use, the hammer stores. I'll show how that's supposed to look in a better angle. But essentially, when it's in use, the hammer simply plugs into the hand, like so, and then there's a little bit of this, there's a little pole piece about 4 units long that attaches, meaning when Onua is able to lift his hammer, and you can tell by the friction I need to turn this, that it's a fairly heavy hammer, how that looks with him. Got this other arm just sticking back. I'll try to fix that in a second. We pop on his Mask of Power, so you can see completed Onua. His face, I'm very glad that they chose to give him an adjustable neck, because if you put his neck straight up, it looks a little odd on him. But if you put his neck down, making him more gargoyle-like, he loses some of that freedom. So you can choose to pose his neck how you want. He's the only one who has an extra joint on his neck. But I'm kind of glad. I like to move mine up. I like to move it up a little bit at a slight angle, just so he has got like that hunchbacky look, but he doesn't look too I guess you could say too ape-like. Because I'm not a big fan of the gorilla Onua, but I kind of like his design, because he looks very brutish. I'm going to show how this looks in a better angle before putting him in his adrenaline mode. Though, according to the instruction booklets, with the hammer is the adrenaline mode, and with the claws, actually, according to the instruction booklets, hammer is normal, and the digging claws is adrenaline mode. However, some sources of media say it's the other way around. So this conflicting information is very odd. Tilted back, Onua certainly looks taller. He looks about as tall as Pohatu, with very broad shoulders, making him certainly the widest of the widest, not whitest, the widest of the second generation masters. I think this hammer is a little unwieldy, but it certainly gives the whole, smashing look. I haven't gotten a good pose for him yet because I haven't had a chance to fiddle with it, but once I get a cool pose, I'm sure it'll look really badass. In his adrenaline mode, I'm actually surprised to say that Onua's golden mask actually makes him look better than the black mask. I'm sure if I put the chest decal on, the mask would stand out a little bit better. However, I'm pretty happy with how just the gold mask looks over the face. Let me lower it a little bit, to give them more that golem-y look. The bit of the hammer comes off and splits into these dual claws, each of which goes over the arm. Let me show you quickly now how this works. He has a very similar digging feature, kind of like the original Onua, or even like Nuparu, considering he has the 2 claw-like shovels that combine into one. I'm actually really happy with this mode. However, I wouldn't leave him in this mode. For one, the hammer sits awkwardly on his back, and literally just, if you look, this foot piece just sticks out, and it looks really bad. If I were to do it, even in the instructions, it has it just sticking straight up. I like it. I'm taking a look at it down, though, and if it's down, it just makes his back look a little bit bulkier, but it's Onua. No one's gonna notice that. Look at that. You barely even notice it. He's a dude coming at you with shovels. Oddly enough, though, the bottom pole from his hammer stays in the hand. You'll notice that. Here we go. Sorry, wrong hand. You'll notice it just stays in the hand. You probably can't see that very well, but yeah, see, stays in the hand. That's really kind of weird. I'm not sure if they just didn't design something for it, but there is a place to put it. If you unplug it, you can place this pole piece on the other shoulder. Literally, it can stick into the opposing shoulder. I mean, yeah, you have this pole sticking out, but it sticks out just about as far as the foot. So I don't really get it. I don't really get the weapon design, in my opinion, for this Onua seems a little lazy, but it's still pretty solid mode. I would be terrified if this came tunneling into my my house. Just as terrified as if he was wielding a giant axe hammer thing. I don't normally, I'm not really a big fan of showing the skull spiders, but because of his opposable neck, you're able to show the skull spider quite well and pose it. Uh, most skull spiders you can only place on by removing all four of the legs. However, because of this, because of Onua's design and his slightly longer neck, you actually can, by folding up these bottom legs, place him over Onua's head. You will have to fold up the legs, but if you do so, you can get a very Cthulhu-looking Onua, and he looks really good. With a character like with characters like Tahu and Liwa and Kopaka, this is much more difficult because of their bulky shoulder armor. However, Onua's is low enough that it's out of the way. Plus, his head is a little bit more forward, and he has a longer neck. You can also do the same with Pohatu, but he also has a little bit less neck room. So I'll look to see if Gali can do the same. But I'm very happy that Onua can actually wear the skull spiders when they have their legs on. Because having to have all the legs go straight forward looks really dumb. I mean, you can have the one behind, but having the forward legs going like that, like weird vampire fangs, looks dumb. And I'm glad that it actually works. So this is my video for Onua, but just to review, very solid figure, very wide. Color scheme is a little mismatched because there's 4 colors, but at the same time he also looks very good. I'm a little disappointed that the weapons and the shoulder pads are the same piece, but at the same time I'm glad we have 4 of these pieces that are very good. I just feel I'm going to be keeping him in hammer mode for the majority though, because the hammer mode I feel is just a better mode. I'm Metagross Freak, and thank you for watching. I hope in the next day or two to bring you the Gali Master of Water episode. Thanks.